What happened in that motel room?
It was coupon night, and I was trampolining your wife.
Ground control to LM22, do you copy?
MS-1 is the only Supermax facility in existence where there is no physical or sexual abuse, breakouts, or riots.
Escape from New York collides with Demolition Man in our next movie review. Hello there to everyone in cyberspace. I am movie critic Nick Iacobucci, as always, for ReelScreenReviews.com, and our next movie review is Lockout. This sci-fi and thriller opened around the nation on Friday, April 13th, 2012, and it stars Guy Pearce, Maggie Grace, and Peter Stormare. Lockout comes to us from the directing team of James Mather and Stephen St. Ledger, the duo that brought us the short film Pray Alone. They now make the jump to Hollywood feature, but do they deliver a quality one? Well, we'll get back to that. This tale deals with the world's worst criminals in the most out-of-this-world penitentiary. The most dangerous criminals are housed 250,000 feet above the planet in an orbiting space station, and they are kept calm and in hibernation by detailed systems that outline a healthy but induced means of sleep. All's well until an accident leads to the uprising and eventual takeover of the prison by the inmates that can only be described as the worst of the worst. Through all of this, there is still time for our wrongly convicted anti-hero to make deals for his freedom, and gee-whiz, it only entails saving the president's daughter from the aforementioned floating space prison. Wow. Well, people, the biggest problem that I have with Lockout is the same problem that I think everyone has with it. It's a complete and utter ripoff of the John Carpenter, Kurt Russell, now classic Escape from New York. Lockout has 3 credited screenwriters that were able to produce this script from, get this, an original idea from Luc Besson. I really don't know how they can claim that, because honestly nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, down to naming the main renegade anti-hero Snow instead of Snake, and the hostage being part of the first family. The last word that I would ever use to describe the film Lockout is original. Now, I will say that the opening sequence was really quite promising. Unfortunately, the rest of the film never kept the bar that high the rest of the time. The space shots looked cool and were filmed pretty clear, but the Michael Bay school of action editing ruined any potential these scenes had. Guy Pearce is almost always above average, and his performance here is no different, and I believe that his portrayal as Snow was the only thing that kept this project hovering above 1/2 of 1 star as a rating. However, even as the film played on, his smart aleck comments really started to lose some of their zip, but I would be lying if I didn't say that he had me out and out laughing out loud more than a few times with his wisecracks. I will also say that at least the movie gets a boost from the credible acting of the supporting players, including Lenny James, Vincent Reagan, and the very, very, very creepy Joseph Gilgum. Unfortunately, there are so many issues with Lockout that stand out, and I'm going to try and make this right to the point. The film's editing is scattered, to say the least, and the lighting on the film is so bad that I began to question whether light bulbs were in the film's budget in the first place. The writing on the movie is well below any sort of standard, and that to me was the most disappointing of anything with this project. With the tiniest level of energy, this story could have been outlined drastically better from the beginning, and the directors were just as lazy throughout, in my opinion. This directing team filled the running time with science fiction flim-flam and action segments so choppy that you'll think that they watched the Blair Witch Project for inspiration on how to do it. Now, sometimes when I watch a film, I actually sit back and wonder, how did so many reasonable adults all come together to produce something that doesn't even make any sense? Lockout sports a scene that shows 2 people that parachute down to Earth from outer space. They pass through Earth's atmosphere without any kind of heat shield and come out landing gently on an overpass. Even funnier than that is when they land, authorities and assistants are almost immediately there waiting for them. Now, I don't mean to be nitpicky, but they fell from space, which means that they could have fallen anywhere on the planet. So how did all of these people know that they were going to be landing on the 9th Street Bridge, which is like a couple blocks away? You know, at 95 minutes, Lockout couldn't have been any longer because they couldn't even fill this amount of time with any sort of substance. What I would recommend to others is that if you are a die-hard science fiction or space action fan, well then yes, go ahead and check out this film. However, if you are somebody that enjoys an intelligent story surrounded by beautiful photography, then you definitely want to pass on this one at the multiplex. This is just a bunch of Hollywood cliches surrounded by cheap explosions, and when you add it all together, you unfortunately get a whole lot of nothing. Nick's real screen review for this very unfavorable film is a very unfavorable 1 1/2 stars out of 4, and that's for the would-be science fiction adventure Lockout. And remember people, I'm not always right, but only when it comes to the movies, and thank you for your attention.